Good afternoon, everyone. This is the February 10th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Directors of the Patent-Free Library in Bath, Maine. We'll call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the Secretary's report. That is the minutes of the January 13th meeting. I open it up to discussion or comment. Is there anything that people say?
I had a question.
Peggy?
On page 3, under the consent agenda monthly report, it says, Carl asked Elizabeth about the level of Title II funding for public libraries. And I couldn't remember that exchange, and it just seemed like, should there be another sentence there?
It was my thought exactly.
Oh.
I wrote it down too. I think what the gist of it, as I recall correctly, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I think I asked if Title II applies to patent-free library since it's not a public library. And I believe Elizabeth's response was yes, because patent-free library gets federal funds. Does that sound?
And municipal as well.
So I would like the minutes to be amended to reflect that. I had the same thing too. I think it begged a response, whatever Elizabeth responded. So to complete that. Okay.
And the only other thing, on page 5, under old business, what is the E for fiscal year? FYE?
Draft 3.
Fiscal year end?
FYE 26-27, what's the E?
Ending?
It's the fiscal year ending.
Oh,
Fiscal year ending.
fiscal year ending.
There it is.
Yes, FYE is fiscal year ending 26,
Okay, I
27.
never hadn't seen that before. Never had, ending.
Any other comments? I have one informational question related to this, Leslie. Can we access the board packets for past months?
Yes, but they're not arranged by packet, so they're all arranged by category, so I move everything. So if you want to look at past minutes, you just go to minutes and agenda. Committee reports, you go to committees. Everything is there for like several years back. They're not packet, because you'd have to remember what packet they were in. So rather than that, everything is broken into folders and categories, so it should be easy to find.
Because in this question that Peggy brought up and we both brought up, I did try to look under staff monthly reports, the drive, but I didn't see anything. So unless I was.
It's full,
Well, for 2026, I didn't see.
because 2026 there's only January.
Right.
It's by calendar year.
Right, but there wasn't anything
It's
in it.
because it's in I didn't move it yet until after.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to be sure about
Yes,
that.
if you
So-
look at 2020, it'll be full. So once the board meeting is over, then everything gets moved.
Okay,
Um,
but this was from January, and I didn't see it under January when I went.
it's because it's in the board packet.
Still in the board packet.
Because we're reporting on January. The monthly report is for January.
But the question, okay,
So your January stuff would be in December.
Yeah. okay, all right.
Okay, is that-
It's 1 month,
Always so tricky.
it's 1 month delay, okay, all right, okay. Are there any other questions or comments on the minutes? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Thanks. Okay, are there any suggested adjustments to the agenda? I would say I belatedly sent out the information that Leslie provided me regarding the McDonald Trust. So if you've had a chance, there were 2 documents, one the court petition and also the appointment of Bath Savings Trust to be the trustee. So we can discuss those at the time, but that wasn't explicit in the agenda. Anything else? If not, move on to comments. First and foremost, I want to welcome Ashley Randall to the Board of Trustees. She is the West Bath appointee to the 1-year rotational board seat. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you.
And you're on the town select board as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And now we could go around and introduce ourselves. Why don't we start with Jack and then go around.
Jack Underwood, just recording secretary. Little.
Suki Hearn, and I was also on the select board when I was on my 1-year appointment too,
Yes.
actually.
Tommy Davis, I'm also on the Village Select Board.
Carl Albrecht.
Anthony Jameson.
It's our turn.
Peggy Kapusowski.
Eileen Harkins. Samantha Rickram, Development Director.
And Leslie Dollinger, Director. I'll also say Anthony's our treasurer.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good point.
The money in the minutes.
And we'll go on to the people on the screen.
Yeah.
Michael Mason, and I have a broken,
No, we're muted.
No, we are.
Oh, we are? Hold on,
Mute, yeah, you got mute only.
how's,
where do
am
you
I-
see
On
me?
the
On the
laptop,
bottom
it
right.
looks like the sound is all the way down.
Got on the bottom
the
right.
actual laptop.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, you
where?
can see where the X.
Oh, there. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Lori's there.
Go Jack, okay. Try it now?
It's gonna be loud.
No.
Oh, well, Michael's muted.
No.
Okay, unmute yourself, Michael.
okay, am I unmuted?
Oh,
We
gosh.
still can't hear him.
Okay, so let's look at the Zoom.
I can hear
This
you.
is, I'm using another laptop.
Thank you,
today.
Chris.
Oh,
So it's my, so I'm gonna, Jack is, there must be something in the Zoom. Where's the Zoom settings on?
Look under on the white part on the
Not now.
right, it says invite and mute all. I think you've got the mute all.
No, they're not muted. Okay, so where is the?
On the right.
Yes, but I think that the sound there's a sound in Zoom. I know what he did. 'Cause
I did nothing.
can you get Jack? Because he used this for,
Yes.
and I think has his sound off because the history room presentation.
I think if you
was
put it on same as system, that should override.
Same as system.
Under the select speaker, the second header down.
Yeah, select speaker.
Yep.
Let's try
The
same
top-
as
the
system.
top option.
Oh, same as.
Yeah, but we're using
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Okay, Lori.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We can have our own little meeting.
minutes.
Mute.
Yeah, he's not muted. It's.
It's Jack's fault.
Is this
Still
muted for
hiccup
you
Jack.
because you have the speaker like
Our hero.
so how do we fix
Hopefully.
this? I have the sound up, but I think in Zoom it's muted. So it's, how do you,
Sorry.
Should be the overhead.
right, they can hear fine, we just can't hear them.
Well, yeah, they can hear us.
Everybody turn it on.
What's the thing on the right-hand side where it says mute all under the participants?
gives her control
Oh,
to
so the
mute
Zoom
them,
is
but you
up.
can see
They're still.
Zoom is up,
No one
can you check I think that's up.
If the laptop goes into another room and is used in a different way.
Yes, the
Changes.
history
That's
one
what
we use for the
happens.
town history
Oh,
series, yeah, history one, yeah.
I'm surprised it worked.
Chris,
Yeah, everything
I could
looks
hear
fine.
everything.
Alright, try speaking again.
Hello?
Supposed to be here in person.
Can you hear me?
No.
No, none of you?
None of them.
Can you hear us? Can
Yeah.
you hear us?
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
us?
you.
Hear us.
You do a test.
Yeah, hit the little test speaker thing. No,
Test speaker.
go to speaker. up
Oh,
top.
Next
shoot,
time when I
just-
get to the
Hello?
meeting 5 minutes early, I'll speak. And
Where it says
Up top.
I sat here very
Yeah,
quietly.
You can't hear it,
There's
no.
something not plugged in the right place.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, they got it.
It's all the way up.
We try.
What happens if you shut down and try again? That's what I always do. I just.
Right.
Unplug it. That's a good
Unplug it.
idea.
Yep,
Yeah, I
unplug
can
it,
shut
turn
it
it
down
on.
and
Just turn it back on again.
Shut it down and reboot if I
Well, my
have a
partner
problem.
says, as the tech guy, he's always like, but have you turned it off and turned it back
And the
on?
majority of times,
It works.
it works, not always.
9 times
but-
out of 10.
Yes, I do.
Now someone speak for us.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hey,
I changed the output to the laptop speakers,
Okay,
which I
Yeah.
don't know why that works.
That
It
should
makes
have
it not come out of the
happened, okay.
laptop, but it works.
okay.
Okay,
Thanks, Jack.
thank you,
Okay.
Jack.
Can you hear everybody? Can you hear Carl?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear everything, and we can hear each other very well too. All of us.
that's it.
We've been talking about you all. So, in any event, I'm Michael Mason, and the reason I'm not there is because my furnace is being replaced, and I'm cold. Okay.
Oh.
And I should,
Then you should be here.
Michael is Vice President of the board.
No.
Come on. Yes,
I'm
Next.
Chris Marks, and also on the Bath City Council.
And I'm Lori Martin, and I am from Woolwich.
Thank you.
And her son just fixed that.
okay. Well, anything else, Ashley, you want to say, or you not?
Just quickly, I am currently on the West Bath Select Board. I filled a midterm vacancy, so my term is up in June, but I do have intentions to run for another term. I served 6 years on the West Bath School Board, member of the Historical Society recently. Live in West Bath, 2 kids. One is in high school and one is in middle school. And my husband's the deputy fire chief in West Bath as well. So we're always busy, always going somewhere. So I'm looking forward to serving.
Well, thank you.
Thank
We look forward to working with you here.
Thank you.
on the board.
Thanks for stepping in.
That's great. Okay. I would add, and Leslie's mentioned this, but just a comment that the funding request to the served municipalities or the proposals have gone out. So if you're ever in the occasion and that comes up with your fellow residents of your municipality, please be sure to plug in for the library. If that comes up, you've got it. And tonight we're going to be devoting a significant amount of time to a presentation and discussion related to the Building and Technology Committee regarding the plans for the development of a technology plan. Thanks. Those are my only comments. We can move on to the librarian's report.
Okay, I just have a couple things. I know we have a pretty full agenda. I wanted to give an EMC update. EMC is Energy Management Consultants, and they are the company we are working with to provide our sustainability project, our HVAC and project in the library. So we're wrapping that up right now, and we start our training this Friday morning. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's good. And they're just we have a certain number of hours of training, but we're going to do them in small sections, like 1 to 2 hour at a time, so we can fully digest what we're hearing. So Elizabeth and I will start that training on Friday. Dan Labrie will be present, and a couple people from the automated controls. What is it? I can't remember the acronym for anyway, and someone from Mac Air Pro, which is the AC end of things. So that's going to start Friday. They're just tweaking, as I understand is very normal at this stage. They're doing a lot of tweaks with the control system, just getting everything working as it should, because as you know, our old HVAC system is our backup. So they're trying to tweak it so that the backup only calls for heat or whatever when needed. And so there's still a little tweaking to be done there, but they're getting close. So so all is well in that department. And then I just wanted to say, we've had 2 very successful town history series, and we've got one more coming up on the 21st, Saturday at 10:30, and it is West Bath. And the title is The Ebb and Flow of Community Development Along the New Meadows River. And the presenter is Mark, I'll mispronounce it again,
Lincecum.
So he is, anyway, so that's coming up, and they've been very well attended, very well received. So you can also watch them on our YouTube channel if you missed the other 2. And so I hope you will join us for the last one, which is also falls on Winterfest Day. And we're having a hygge day at the library as well. And the friends will be volunteering. So to help with that. So we'll have some cozy seating, hot chocolate. I'm not sure all of what Hannah's got lined up, but all of that's going to take place.
The whole bath thing is the big bath winter fest.
The Winter
Okay.
Fest, right? And I'm not sure of all the different activities, but there's always something big going on in Library Park that way. So they usually have
I think it's games.
and Amanda's usually running around dressed as a Yeti. Amanda McDaniel's from the Main Street Bath. So it's always fun. There's lots of kids out and there's always games and things all over town. So we look forward to that. Yeah.
Will you be planning on recording the training sessions with EMC?
I don't know yet. I know the first part is a walkthrough, so I actually don't know. I want to first see what kind of training we're going to get, and then involve other people that need to be training or a train the trainer type of situation. So that's a good idea, and we're also going to be getting training manuals. That's part of the contract, so we should be getting manuals as well. So yeah, as appropriate, that's a great idea. We'll see.
I know when we had our heat system installed at work, they did the walkthrough with us and we all walked around with them, and then like within days of that person being gone, we were like, wait, what did they see all this? What?
Yeah, so we'll get a manual as well. But yes, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Oh, Leslie, just about, we're staying with HVAC related stuff. Is the breaker issue has been solved that caused the fuel oil to kick in and it's,
Yes.
above normal use and then it
That has been
ran out of
resolved.
fuel.
There is still more use of fuel oil than we would like, and that's some of the tweaking. For example, in the fiction stacks, we had it was overheating in there because the backup system was also running at the same time as the VRF, and that was a total controls issue. So as they said, they do these controls tweaking. We've also been working with EMC, to let them know as well. So I don't know ultimately, we shouldn't see that kind of use continue, but we still have more use of fuel oil than I'd like, at least as of like a week or so ago. But they've done a lot of tweaking since, so we'll have to see.
But the breaker's been repaired.
Oh, that is replaced,
That's
yes.
Right.
Leslie, is it possible to get a copy of what you sent to the towns, that information, that packet? Because I was thinking that would be useful. I don't think I've ever gotten a copy, and so.
Yeah, in fact, I absolutely can do that. I put it all together, instead of a bunch of small attachments, it's one PDF, so they're about 9 pages, and it's
Okay.
all different. Yep,
Good, thank you.
I can absolutely send that.
Yeah.
Each town it's tweaked a little bit, for each of the towns.
And, you want to say something, Leslie, about the February 4th presentation to?
Oh, sure. I didn't know if we were talking, because we've got the capital campaign
Okay,
update. I thought I would talk
That's
about
fine.
it then.
That's fine. You can do it then. Yeah.
Yep. I'm just making myself a note. Yeah, the funding requests. Sent out.
In case any Aroostookans ask us.
Yeah.
Looking at Suki.
Sorry, what did you say?
In case any Aroostookans ask us about
Yes.
They're not allowed.
And yes. And then I'll also, as meetings get closer, some of these are the handouts too that are going to be available at town meetings. So it's kind of a packet of things, including the budget, the municipal breakdown. So it's a whole packet. So what I might do is just send all the attachments for all of the towns, and you can pick the one you want to see.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thank you.
Will do.
Or just stick them on the board drive.
Yeah, that's even better, yeah.
Go ahead and just put it on the Google
Stick
Drive.
them on the Google Drive.
Then I'll send you an email that it's on the Google Drive.
Okay, yeah, post
And
it.
it'll be under, where it will be, so under finance, there's a finance folder, and then there's a budget folder, and then we have all the drafts, and the final approved version is all there. I will put them in that folder so you can see the funding requests as well. But I'll email you to let you know that it's there.
Okay. Right. Move on to the capital campaign update.
All right, Rebecca could not be here, but I have some updates. And as you can see from my monthly report, it's been a very busy month, very exciting month for our capital campaign. So our latest fundraising totals to date, we've raised $3,065,472.92. And of that, $2,134,490 and change is cash received, and then another $930,982 is pledged. And then now I could mention, for those of you who may or may not have seen the city council presentation that I made last Wednesday. So I talked about not so much, I gave an overview of the campaign, focusing on what we're calling the Library Park Amphitheater. And so I also have a link to that. I'll send that out tomorrow, also, so that anyone that wants to watch it can view the link, and it's like 26 minutes in. And so, so I made a very thought out presentation with lots of slides to the city council. What we were really doing was just introducing them to our request, our funding request, which we'd already sent a written request, which the city council will see soon, I imagine, and then probably workshop it in their budget workshop meetings in April. So I will be going back in April to talk with city council about our regular request for operating, as well as this capital campaign request. And they seemed, I was busy giving the presentation, so I wasn't watching faces, but they seemed receptive and kind of excited about it. Because some of them had not seen the first floor reimagined spaces, So I think overall, it was a positive reception, and just, we did exactly what we wanted to do. And Chris, does Chris have anything to say about it? Being a city councilor, what did you think?
I agree. I think it went well. I was a little bit surprised that nobody asked how much it was going to cost. So I think everybody liked it.
I didn't know if you would coach them on that.
I was too.
But they will know soon. So, right, nobody asked.
Also, you didn't present an amount, you just.
No, because we were, we didn't present an amount, and I had to figure if anybody asked. But at this point, we were just sort of introducing the idea. So, but they have a full written proposal.
Yeah, the finance director knows the amount.
And the city manager.
Questions are the questions were very matter of fact. Some tweaks about the amphitheater and how it worked, and but they were very factual, sort of neutral in tone, I would say. And they were engaged. Yeah.
Good.
I would just chime in. Anyone who hasn't seen the video, I'd encourage you to watch it. And I particularly wanted to say I think Leslie is to be commended. Leslie did an outstanding job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that too. I was there watching, and it was great.
Yeah, so I will send out that link tomorrow when I send the email to let you know that all of those funding requests are there, and then it's only about 10-12 minutes long. So
according to Rebecca, your presentation starts around the 23-minute mark.
Oh, 23 minute mark. Okay. Thank you.
Stuff first.
So yeah, we did exactly what we set out to do, was introduce the request, and we'll see what happens.
All right, now we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Oh wait, let me see if there's anything else I forgot to mention. Oh yes, there's a little bit more in the report. Rebecca wanted me to make sure.
Okay.
We've got outstanding asks totaling $305,000. Yes, and we have several meetings in February and a lot of other great work happening. And we're really, with the new members that we have on the committee, we're really ramping up those meetings, and it's fantastic. So we're really gaining momentum, and it's very exciting.
So one of the things that was in the minutes, though, that she had says something about trying to figure out what we've actually spent out of that money. Are we going to get that at some point?
Mm-hmm. Spent of the campaign money?
Yeah.
So that I can bring, so the finance committee is, I make
Okay.
reports every month to the finance committee, so
Okay.
they know exactly how much. And I can certainly bring those same reports to the capital campaign committee, so yes, we keep track of every dollar spent and every dollar that comes in.
We've been proportionally in target in terms of projected expenses. If it's a 4-year campaign, our percentages are in line with that ratio.
Thank you.
Actually, Leslie, that's not part of the board materials. The capital
I should
campaign
throw that
budget.
in?
You should
Okay.
probably throw that in
Yeah.
from now.
I will absolutely do that, I don't know why, that's an oversight, okay.
Google Drive?
Probably in the finance committee folder.
Yeah, so once, it'll be under, there's also a capital campaign folder too.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't, where should I put it? I can create a subfolder. What makes sense to you all, finance or capital campaign?
Capital campaign.
Campaign, all right, I'll create a finance under the capital campaign
Thank you.
folder.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Anything else, Leslie, from the capital campaign?
I think that is it.
Okay. Now we'll move to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Yes.
Eileen, Suki, right, approved. All in favor? Move on to the monthly report, starting with the monthly staff report. I had just couple comments. One is I thought that Elizabeth's data comparison showing the direct correlation among the community's populations, cardholder percentage and circulation percentage was good. As though I hadn't seen stats presented that way. And one thing I think it shows is that no community is underserved, or they're being served well, since they're taking advantage of what's being offered. One thing I'll expose my ignorance here, but what is the Web Contact Accessibility Project?
Web content?
That's what Hannah wrote about.
It's the ADA website.
Oh, basic contact, yes, web,
Yeah.
right, so basically, and that's something, are you gonna mention that at all in yours?
Okay.
Okay, so I saw it in your slides, so then
Okay.
why don't I hold any until, and then if there's
Right.
questions that
Okay.
come up there.
There was something too about the main collab knowledge share, quote, and swaps and quotation marks.
So it's MeCollab, that's like the group of program specialists from libraries around the state that get together and they plan, so that's what MeCollab is, so that's what she's.
Swap is just exchanging information?
Yeah, it's just getting together and exchanging ideas, yep.
Then I wanted to recognize Samantha for jumping into community service by joining the building committee for the new elementary school.
I'm so excited. I got recommended this, actually, you can take a moment to say our outreach works, because you remember that event we went to at Union and Co? I think you and Elizabeth and I were there, it was a climate event. I talked with Micah Depper, who's a middle school science teacher that my son had at BMS, and we had a lengthy conversation about the library's project and sustainability and my background in that, and so he's the one who recommended me to the committee. So the outreach works.
So Samantha wrote a book about sustainability for
That's
those
what my
of you who
master's is
did,
in.
so
My other life. Okay, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
great for you to do it. And also kudos to Jack for being a good sleuth on the mysterious Mallet House. He's found out where it was and where it wasn't. And that was interesting. Those things are always interesting. It shows what the history room can do for community, for people who come in, and how important it is.
Exactly.
So those are my miscellaneous comments. But other things about the monthly staff report?
I just had a couple comments about the statistics. The museum passes are really shooting up. What happened? How did we publicize it differently than?
Anna did that wall. Do you remember that down on the slat wall last year? She did one of those big displays and set everything up like kind of like she did the summer reading, and I think that's when we started to see the boost, is like putting it out so that you could actually visually see all of the. Plus, I think Elizabeth has increased our.
Right, well, we haven't the Chocolate Church starts this month, so I expect.
That was in the paper.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that, it
Yeah,
was in the paper, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when our stats were down during the time then when the Coastal Botanical Gardens was not doing the membership with libraries, but it's been a couple of years since we've been back, so I'd have to look, but I think just be more aware. I think Hannah's been doing more posts. I think what helps too is if when other libraries promote, then other community members saying, oh, what if my library has that too? And so, Curtis does a good job of promoting theirs. So I think people, our members and our community will hear about it as well. We could do a deeper dive to see which are the ones that are the most used. I can ask Elizabeth to do that.
I had a suggestion about the stats page report. Maybe include YouTube viewership. Given that there's certain programming that's on YouTube and
we track that.
Yeah, we do.
No, I'm sure you do, but that would be good for this report.
Okay, so if you have any other, send them to Elizabeth. Normally does the report, so and we're always looking to tweak it. So maybe YouTube views. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
And Peggy.
I had a question, I think it was in Hannah's report, about the AARP tax aid that the staff is now organizing it.
So we're not organizing it. We were the only site that was walk-in.
Yeah.
And we've now gone to appointments only. And so we have offered to take that on. So what we did, we created a mailbox in our voicemail system. So patrons are leaving messages there to get scheduled, and then we have staff that are actually retrieving the messages and calling, and then Hannah set up a spreadsheet to schedule them. So she's working with the AARP volunteers, but we're actually doing the scheduling for them.
I just wondered, I understand the scheduling, that's a good idea. I just wondered how much it adds to staff time. I mean, it's another task.
It is.
There's no volunteer, no AARP volunteer that could coordinate that?
That's a Hannah question. She's really in charge of that, so I don't know. I know they do have a volunteer that I think is going to be calling to remind people of the appointments, but I don't know if there's enough volunteers to call. To schedule. I know that they are down in volunteers all the way around. They used to have a site at the Bass Senior Center, which they no longer have. We are the sole site in the area. So they have, their volunteer base has been decreasing. I do know that. So that's a good question for Hannah, and I can find out,
Yeah,
but
because
I don't know the answer.
I mean, the staff does so much, and when I saw that, I thought, well, that's really an AARP.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying it out this
program,
year to be helpful, but Hannah is, she's aware of the amount of time the staff agreed to, so we'll be tracking, I know we're tracking that as well. But yes, so that's certainly Hannah question.
That's not a LibCal option, is something like LibCal?
No, because we can't, because I'm not really sure exactly why Hannah set it up the way it is, but it's, I don't know, and not everybody has access to a computer, not everybody's comfortable with that as well, so, yeah.
I just wanted to make a quick comment that I think it's very exciting that Jack will have an intern from the high school. That's a great.
He does,
Yeah,
I think,
great.
I think he was here this afternoon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that's
From the
awesome.
JMG, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on the inventorying the flat files at the moment.
Right. Building and technology. Always full of good stuff.
The stuff from Saginaw was confusing.
We've got that as under old business.
Later?
Yeah.
There was a remark about the accessibility entrance. Is that by now, is that completed? Is that?
There was, in the minutes,
Building and tech.
there was a remark
Yeah.
in the minutes.
Yeah.
What did it,
It just says that just says that you told us it was 100% complete and you're waiting for the bill from the city.
that's correct.
Okay, so it is complete.
Yes.
Finance. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay. You have any comments you want to make, Tommy? In addition to the documents?
Well, we got the documents to look at, but I've got nothing. Anthony will talk about the numbers.
Yeah. We'll do that with treasurer's report. But I think the finance committee, well, from the minutes you can see that felt that the reports, financial reports are in order and there's nothing awry. So there's, okay. To the Friends report, I would say kudos to them for this almost uninterrupted and steady increase in annual income. That was nice to see. That kind of information is very helpful, I think.
They also are doing extra hours that we had other years. They added the Saturday and a couple of Sundays too. I think that's part of where the increase comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
The governance committee, which has been in limbo to some degree, is meeting this Friday at 1:30. So we'll start submitting more regular reports. Just say that we've got a number of things to work on: community charters, onboarding process, etc., recruitment. So some of the things up front here. Policy and personnel.
I have a question. Sure. You mentioned something about the free library cards to students, or that part of that whole issue. And if that happens and free library cards are given to all RSU students, will the students in all the other of our communities also get free library cards?
Well, the ones who are in served communities.
That's what I mean,
they get them anyway because they're part of the served community. So the controversy about it, and we're really not ready to spend time I think next month we're going to put it on the March agenda and come with a little more organized, because there's a little mix within the group, because it really is boiling down to Phippsburg, who's not and so I think that's where it's been a complicated discussion. We're going to come to a little more of a summary, which we may not all be in agreement about it. So that will bring it to I think for next month.
That would, I mean, if it turns out that other students from non-sort of like Phippsburg would get cards, that would be true of the other communities, right? If they happen to have any students.
The served communities.
You mean beyond other non-served communities, or?
No. I mean, in our served communities.
It's kind of.
They already get them.
They already got it because
They already get them. It's the question just about Phippsburg.
They're residents.
Because they're in the.
Okay,
in
but
the
suppose
district.
somebody isn't a resident and goes to the school.
That's
the issue. But will that be? But the focus always. I know it's RSU, but I don't know whether any of the other schools. That's really my question.
And that's a complexity. So, and I think the other thing I should say is that the trustees asked policy and personnel to take this on and sort of to generate the discussion and bring it back. It's going to be a board decision. So that, I think our anticipation is to bring those issues that you're just talking about.
Okay.
Leah, do you want to mention the issues that you're working on in relation to prepping for the HR consultant?
Yes, and so I referred back, and I can send this out or I can just mention, over really many months, we talked about different aspects of the personnel policies that need updating, and the Policy and Personnel Committee has consistently agreed that we need to have an HR consultant. So Leslie had been reaching out and is pretty much, I don't know if you've finalized, but
Yeah, no, I reached out to references
and has pretty much selected someone.
But yeah, not officially, but yes.
We did have a list. We developed concerns that we had as a committee, and there may be some other things. But I wanted to reference the June 2025 minutes, and it's outlined there with some of the discussion that happened then. So we really haven't taken it up in details since then. So, but some of them examples have an employee grievance process. There were some questions about the exit interview, offering that to employees, and what happens to that interview. Questions about work from home policy, possibility of flex time, how that might work. Then also the main earned paid leave law. That's the big one, because we're already paying, the library is already paying into that. And there actually were some other conversational topics that had come up. Question on compensation, about there's no option for prorated healthcare, no retirement option unless you're full-time. So these were questions like, would these be possibilities? So it is outlined in the minutes. But Carl had asked last month, and I really didn't have it ready in more detail.
It's a lot of issues.
Yeah, although I think Leslie felt that I think some of them are going to be addressed probably pretty quickly. I don't think this should probably anticipate a month or so.
That's what they do in these HR
This is what they know. This is what they do.
They go through policies, some of it's our language, some of it they'll be putting language in, like for the main, paid family medical leave, which is a brand new law, so they turn these around pretty quickly.
Just make sure we're in compliance. And it also fits within the budget line too, so it's not going to require extra. I think that was in the finance committee.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for policy and personnel? Treasurer's report?
Okay.
Sorry. Treasurer's report. We'll start with the endowment. The value as of yesterday, February 9th, is $9,577,547.89. Did anybody have any questions on the P&L? Everything is really moving along as it should. I don't know if we mentioned it, but all of the municipalities' contributions have been received to date. Yep, so those have all come in for this fiscal year. Everything else is trucking along.
Those all come in as a single payment. It's always that way.
From each municipality.
Yeah.
Roughly the same time every year.
Generally.
Okay. All right, any questions for Anthony?
I do have a question. Has there ever been talk of, I know at the county level, there's talk of splitting payments into 1, 2, or 4. I don't know whether that would ever be part of a conversation for municipalities, if that would help to spread out for the towns.
I think we would talk about it. I don't think has that ever come up?
No, no one's asked
Yeah,
to do it.
I don't think that's anything we've ever talked
Yeah.
about, but I think we could talk about it.
It's a new conversation at the county
Yeah.
level as well, so it
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't talk about it.
I think we could.
Yeah, I don't.
We could
Especially
easily
as
do it.
requested.
Yeah, I don't really see why that would really be, at just sort of the high level, I don't see any issues with it.
Right,
At
it's
the high level, yeah.
Yeah, except it couldn't be, like our fiscal year runs to June, so like the last payment would have.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is
It can't be toward the
It would
end.
really be helpful if we could, structure it within our fiscal year and all that
absolutely.
jazz. But other than that, at the very high level, not getting into those sort of details, I wouldn't see any issue with it, in principle.
Yeah, and how it's working, as far as I understand at the county level, is you have to declare what your intentions are.
Right.
So you have to say like, I will be paying it in one. I think at this point it's only an option of one or two.
Yeah.
But it's not just I'll send you this much.
Yeah, exactly. Here's how much I want to send.
Yeah, there's some.
No limit.
There's structure
Plan
around
around
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do plan our endowment draws based upon when the municipal contributions come in.
Yeah, I know it was mostly a cash flow conversation as well at that level.
Yeah,
So
totally.
That's
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, interesting issue. Right, town and area school activities, anything that's coming up?
You wanna do the development report?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I was looking at
Nope.
my notes. I'm sorry, my
That's all
apologies, I had written something underneath it, so go ahead.
The annual fund as of today is at $107,067. We also have $11,308 in open pledges for a total of $118,375. A few discussion points for today. There is a spring business appeal mailing that Samantha's putting together. It's going to be about 60 letters. And as usual, it's helpful to have people come in and put notes on those. So if anybody's available to do that.
Just know when it's ready.
So I have it, I picked it up today, I'll send out the list because some of the businesses are stewarded. And then everybody can see who's there and then it'll just be, it'll be in my office.
There's also a periodical appeal going on. The goal is $3,000, which of that total, $1,400 has been raised so far. Samantha has emailed a link to 234 people, all corporators, friends, and previous periodical donors. And a reminder email has also gone out. This appeal is going to end at the end of February. That's an extended date. Originally, we were going to end that appeal on the 16th of February.
I see that happening, but I have it up still as the 16th to pressure people, but then we'll extend it.
And then our next development committee is next Friday, February 20th at 10 a.m. We're going to meet by Zoom. We haven't met since October, since the last time we tried to meet. I think nobody showed up. There's a large agenda to prepare for the last 4 months of our fundraising activities. Anyone that would like to join us who's not already on the distribution list, please let me or Samantha know. We'll add you to that Zoom link or the email that confirms the Zoom link. That's it.
I see, right, that the John Patton Society event has been canceled.
Night at the Patton. Yes.
Yeah, because
that
no
was
board
my
member
question.
stepped up to chair the event committee and we were
Right,
now
right.
in February, so.
Right.
Yeah, so we do have to make up that 10,000. I will say currently, and I'm gonna say this cautiously, we are ahead of last year. But we do have a number of campaign donors who have not given their annual fund gift this year and a few that normally give in the spring that haven't. So I'm really cautious about the spring without that. We're ahead of where we are last year, but we had a spelling bee last year in like April. We don't have, without that event, I think we're gonna quickly see us go behind. So that's why development committee this month is gonna be so important because we're gonna have to strategize on what's left for the 4 months to get us to that. Because we also increased our giving this year. So not only do I have to match the 150 from last year, but we have 155,000 as our goal.
Right.
And that's where I'm nervous.
Could you repeat the time of the meeting on the 20th?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. by Zoom.
by Zoom. Yep.
So there won't be any events then in the spring?
Nope. We have library giving day. It's not really an event, but it is an event, it'll be we'll try to put our all into that. Remember, we did it last year. We had the tables down at Brackett's and did some there, so yeah, that's
We talked
pretty
about
much.
maybe doing a VIW gate collection.
Yeah, but that only brings in like $700, so.
You also have to get on that list.
Yeah, like last year.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, that's my concern. If I email now, they're gonna say, we've got time next spring. So,
I've also heard talk of them possibly rearranging that program.
yeah, I know they had put another person in charge of it the last time we did it, so that
That
already
doesn't mean
started to
they
shake
won't
it up, but.
do charitable giving. It's just made to be
Differently.
different.
Mhm.
Anything else? Now, we can move to town area school activities. If there's anything to put in about that. Well, it's just, Leslie is going to present, what's on the, to the West Bath Finance Committee, right?
Budget committee.
Budget committee, right?
Yes, on,
March 12th.
thank you.
March 12th, and so, yeah.
6:30.
At 6:30, yes.
6:30,
I didn't
so-
want to say the wrong date, and I was.
Leah and I are going to attend as well. And anybody else is welcome.
I'm hoping Don's gonna come too.
Oh.
And.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Then on to whole business, the McDonald Trust. We had a chance to look at the documents, drawn up by Judy Metcalf. One is the court petition, giving the arguments for changing the scope, broadening the scope of the trust. And then the other document was, requires a vote by the board to name Bath Savings Trust as the trustee of the new
Right.
organization.
You have to do one before the other, I'm assuming, no, don't you have to petition first and then, or not?
I think the vote is to authorize the submission of the petition.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if does the court require at the same time that they have the signed document about the board of, naming Bath Savings?
I think Judy indicated that the board needs to unanimously approve the
Yes.
trustee first. There may be, she may tweak the petition a little more, that may not be the final version. It probably, I'm not, because it's not ready to go yet, I don't know that it's the final version, but she is asking that the board do
So we would need a
vote.
separate motion for each, is what we're saying.
Right, that sounds like, yeah, okay.
Well, then I will present a motion to appoint Bath Savings Trust Company as the successor trustee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Makes a lot of sense. They already.
Okay, if not, yes,
Are there fees associated with that, or are they known, or?
There will be fees associated with the management of the trust, and they will come from the trust as they have been.
Are they substantial?
Right now, they won't be because we've talked with Sean, who will be the officer, who is and will be at the trust company, and they're gonna structure the account to where it's not really a managed account because they're not really going to be doing any managing while it's in sort of the limbo state. So it'll be a pretty nominal fee. They don't know exactly what yet because we're sort of cart before the horse right now, so we can't really figure out exactly what it'll be, but it'll be a pretty nominal fee. Eventually, it will be their general management fee structure, but it's all based on performance and all that, so.
Do we know how much is in the trust?
How many dollars are in the trust? It's around $800,000.
It's about 867,000, I'm pretty sure is what.
I thought it was 815.
The percent, because we have a certain percent of the total value.
The total, but it's because we don't have the funds yet, we don't have an exact number.
That's the estimated.
Michael has a hand.
Michael, yes.
I just want to say that if at any time you find that you feel those fees are too high, that they can always be changed. The trustee can always be changed. So it's just something to look out for.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
815,000, sorry, that was from Sean Martin, that's the number, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the
The
number
estimate.
that was mentioned,
The
but
whole thing, that's the whole thing, and then we get a third?
No, that's ours.
No,
It's our portion of it.
that's our third.
we can only draw interest from that,
Right.
we can't draw.
Right.
This is a significant gift. And
That's
why
huge, that's huge, I didn't realize
it's
it.
a lot of wonderful implications for the
Yeah.
library once we get further down
Yeah.
this legal process.
Okay, there is a motion that's been accepted. We can take a vote now on appointing Bath Savings Trust as the successor trustee. All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Approved. Okay,
Yes.
great.
That we need.
And as far as the petition goes, I mean, it's a draft. Does anyone have, I don't know, anyone has any concerns about how it's, the way it's constructed and the argument that's involved in it?
I have a question about it. I don't know that I'd say it's at the level of a concern, but it is a question. Library materials come in a lot of forms these days. We buy books, we subscribe to magazines, we do what is in essence a licensing agreement to get ebooks. I'm sure there are lots of other things. Are we comfortable that that whole scope of activity falls within the scope of the word purchase? Because that's what the agreement, the trust says, is that there are funds to allow the library to purchase.
And what would you want to?
I don't know. I'm not competent to judge. I'm asking the question.
You'd be purchasing subscriptions. So even if you're, just like if you
Purchase license.
Yeah, that's why I would. I don't know if Michael has any.
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
I could certainly ask Judy whether like a subscription, purchasing a subscription, that's the only other, is person, right?
Or an ebook license.
Michael
may know.
Yeah, I think what you can do is maybe amend the motion to make sure that concern is addressed by Judy prior to filing. So simply amend the motion that.
We haven't made a motion yet.
Oh, okay.
You have to make one.
So on the motion, I can try. It's a little hard with being on Zoom here, but certainly I would make a motion that we allow Judy to go ahead and file the proposed complaint, provided that John's concerns are addressed and included within that complaint. And John, I think it's John, maybe you can say again what the concern is succinctly.
The concern is simply, does the word purchase adequately cover the scope of the range of procurements that we might want to use these funds for?
Good. So you could put that into that motion, and then I think we could vote if there's a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, I guess seconded. With that condition or proviso, people willing, we vote to approve this draft petition. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Again, unanimous. Okay, great. All right. The warming and cooling center.
One more bit to the McDonald Trust. Remember the fee, Judy's fees.
Yes. 10,000.
Yes. Her projected total fees for the handling this matter are 10,000, which will be recovered. She plans to recover from the trust.
But in the meantime, we have to pay for them, right?
Yeah, we can reimburse.
So what we'd like to do is come to the board, and the finance committee has talked about this. And so just to recap, Judy has projected, frankly, we just don't really know how much it's going to cost to do this. She's projected it may cost around 10,000. What we'd like to do is present a motion to the board to authorize up to 10,000 right now. And what we'd like to do is to take that, what did we say, from capital reserve, with the intention that at the end we will repay ourselves from the trust, which is a fairly normal practice to be able to repay yourself from the instrument that you're working on. So that is our plan. I can make that motion if we want to turn that into a motion, I suppose. I'll move to authorize.
Wait, Suki has a question.
I'm confused. I mean, you just said you're going to get it from the trust.
We can't take any money from the trust right now until.
But how do we get it from the trust
So right now, what we would do is we have to do is we have to pay Judy for her services.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this, we would get it from the trust once we, well, I suppose.
We can only draw from
What's
interest.
that?
Well, no, once we have it in our account, then we would draw from it.
Once it's gone through the legal process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Expenses.
Judy needs to get paid.
But Judy, yes, has to be paid.
It's an upfront expense for getting the money.
Yeah,
Trust money.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
got it, yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry.
So the motion is to authorize up to $10,000 to come from the capital reserve.
Right.
I'll second it.
Seconded. All in favor? No one opposed? Okay. Approved.
So there are 3 motions, right, we just did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the warming and cooling center. We've got quite a few documents about. I think I understand that we can opt into just how the extent to which we want to be involved in this program. So the document itself had a long list of, I guess there were boxes to check off if necessary. But we talked about just warming and cooling, nothing more. It's not a family reunification center or things like that, right?
So, yeah, that was a question. So we're meant to check off the ones that we're gonna sign up for.
If the board is in agreement, right.
The recommendation from the Building and Tech Committee was only do the warming and cooling center. For a couple of reasons. First, the burdens on us would be a lot higher on the others. And second, that burden isn't justified by a need. The guidance we got from Saginaw County was that they really don't feel a strong need for those other categories. They have other facilities for those.
In the response, John, to your and Karen's memo with the questions, the SEMA group back and said liability, PFL will hold harmless SEMA, but not the reverse, quote unquote. And then the response was PFL is already covered by Maine statute on this, so it is already there. I wasn't sure what that means.
Well, I'm not sure I am either.
Yeah, it's a little truncated response.
That's one of the reasons why, when we forwarded this, we noted in our cover memo that we support the idea of establishing the library as a warming and cooling center. However, we on the Building and Tech Committee are not competent to address legal issues, liability issues, insurance issues. So all those points of view need to be considered by the board before you make a final decision here. And yes, we got a response from Phil Davis for what Saginaw County's thoughts were about that one question.
Yeah.
Whether we think that's an adequate response is a different matter entirely.
Yeah, I thought it was unclear.
Should we get an opinion from Judy before we?
I would say yes. Peggy?
Well, I guess my question is, do we want to be a cooling and warming center? I mean, we brought it up once, I thought only briefly, and then at one point, my recollection is we said, well, maybe we should wait a year to see how our whole heating and cooling system works. And so that's one thought I have. I mean, like we're going into this memo of understanding, but I don't remember really having a conversation about, do we really want to be, and what does that mean? And what are the implications for staffing, for that note from the emergency management says that we may be required for materials, supplies, and blah, blah, blah. And so I guess I feel like it's a little rushed. Maybe it's just me, but going into this memo of understanding, because that is a commitment. So that's my feeling about it.
Leslie?
I just have one thing to add. Our last snowstorm, when we were open, what day was that? Remember, John? I don't remember what the day is. I have to look back in my email. Phil from the county had contacted me and asked if we could, for one day or one event, be a warming center. And so I said yes. I let Carl know, and I said yes. Well, it turns out we had no additional traffic. It did not change our operations at all. We didn't notice. I had staff on kind of alert. I was there part of the day because I think we had a town history series event. It was just cold, but it wasn't, and it didn't change actually any operations. We don't necessarily think this is going to really change a lot of the way we do things. Nobody asked us for what, nobody asked, we have actually water and snacks now we give out anyway. If somebody's hungry, they ask for food, we give it to them. So it has nothing to do whether it's a warming or cooling center. What this does for us is I think it's a really good political thing, relationship thing to do we didn't notice any increase in traffic, at all, even if we had a few. I don't think and we could always change our mind. If it became a burden, then we could always say we're no longer going to do this. But this way we can advertise it. We're already open. We're already doing these things. We're just advertising something we already do. But it didn't seem to bring any more people in.
Carl?
I think
Michael.
Michael.
I just sitting here, I just quickly did a search because I think that whatever that was mentioned, that it's under the statute or something, that comment that was made.
Yeah.
I just looked at the main gov, and the warming cooling center operations guide says that people should consult with their legal counsel and insurers to determine if all legal requirements are met and liability issues are covered. So I think it would be premature to do this now without consulting with Judy and with our insurer to see if that's something that we would be covered for. Because there's a lot that can happen if you think about it.
Yeah.
With people being in the building and all.
Yeah, and the one very limited experience isn't necessarily, an example of what could happen or what would be more typical. So this wasn't disruptive, but, there could be a flood of 40 people coming in, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Climate.
And how did the word get out? I mean, if it's not something we've really advertised. I mean, if that was a one-off, so
right.
How did people even know?
We always will say, come get warm at the library on a cold day. We don't say we're a center, but we'll often say, if it's we just say that, come warm up with a good book, or so we
So
there's a power outage.
We are under no obligation.
No.
We're not under obligation. It's only the hours that we can be operational. If we close for a snowstorm, there's no obligation for us to do anything other than. So what I'm hearing, I can reach out to our insurance brokers and see if there's something else. If the board directs me or at whatever point you want me to do that or to reach out, we can certainly do those things as part of the.
Has the staff been consulted? What does the staff think about this?
We
The
haven't.
burden would be on the staff. If there were people, then there is, the staff would be affected. So are they part of this conversation?
I'm sorry, Karen has.
I spoke to Elizabeth about it, knowing that she is.
Did you talk loud?
I spoke to Elizabeth about it, knowing that she manages most of the staff. And she felt like it would be a nice asset to the community. So that's the conversation that we had as a community.
There's a couple of points I guess I'd add to that. First of all, to your question, Peggy, of should we even do this? I certainly can't speak to what the discussions have been here on the board. I haven't been here. Within the Building and Tech Committee, we have certainly, from the very beginning of the HVAC project, believed that one of the valuable results of the HVAC project would be the ability to provide a cooling center. And the feedback we've gotten in conversations with Leslie, with some of the board participation in ones and twos, was that would be a valuable asset. So we've explored it, certainly not committing the board to anything, but we explored it based on the understanding that there was interest and there was a feeling that this might be a valuable thing for the library to do. When we explored it with the county, they were particularly interested in the idea of cooling centers because there are limited assets in the community that are air conditioned. There's a limited number of places that can provide a cooling center. And as we all know, hot days are getting more common in the summer. Heating center, warming centers, though they encouraged us to consider that, they also felt that they already had other assets in the community. We don't know, we wouldn't know until we did it, how much demand there would be. When we asked that question of Saginaw County Emergency Management, their feeling based on their past experiences was that it would be small handfuls of people. Numbers that you could count on one or at most two hands. Even then, we wouldn't know because we don't ask people as they come in the door. So we wouldn't know whether we were seeing additional visitors specifically because they were coming for cooling center services. So that's some of the thinking and discussion that at least at our committee level, as we were exploring it and working toward bringing a recommendation to you for you to consider, those are the kinds of things that we played with and explored. I don't know if that helps you or not, but
Wasn't there some kind of a reporting requirement that if people are using it, you have to report to
I don't
the
think
county?
so.
No?
Woolwich has been opening warming centers a lot in the past several
I
winters.
don't know where I thought I saw that.
Yeah, I thought there was something.
There's no reporting requirement and there's no.
Yeah, for us, it would,
And
we
nobody
could, I mean,
comes.
we could, because we have, we're not just a center open for that reason, so there's really no way to report. For me, I personally think that if, we look at legal, some legal representation and our insurance broker, I don't personally see a reason not to do it, because our mission, we want people to come to the library for whatever reason. Whether we advertise it or not, we're gonna let people know one way, we're gonna either through a Facebook post, it's hot out there, come in the library, read a book, get cool. We want people to come into our building for whatever reason.
Sure.
And once they get in the door, there's lots of, so I wanna err on the side of, I just don't think we're gonna have those kinds of numbers. I think we're going to be following our mission, and I think this fits right in there with it. So to me, I think if legal counsel and the broker felt there was no concerns or that it was covered by our basic insurance, that I would really urge the board to consider this. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's a great PR opportunity, and then we can assess it. I just don't think we're gonna get those kinds of numbers where it's gonna be an issue. I just think it's a really great thing that we can advertise. I think it's an important thing.
There's a reporting requirement, a little bit. Patent Free Library agrees to inform SEMA of facilities, supplies, services, and personnel available for response and recovery from emergencies resulting from various forms of emergencies or disasters. So that's.
It is a reporting requirement, but it's not a requirement to report how many users we get.
Right.
It's to report that sort of the framework, the outline of the services that we're prepared to provide.
Right.
A couple of things that came up in the discussion with schema about it Things like water, snacks, things like that. As you said, Leslie, you're already doing that to some extent here in the library.
Water fountains, we have cups, we
They
have
were very
foods.
clear with us, there's no obligation to do that. They'd certainly be happy if we chose to, but they also said that if it becomes a burden, they can provide those.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Similarly, they said if it becomes a staffing burden, they can provide additional staff to support it. And a final point, I think it was you, Leah, made a comment a few minutes ago about how would it get publicized. Above and beyond the community relations benefits that Leslie pointed out, one of the reasons for doing this is to make it available for Saginaw County Emergency Management so that they can advertise it through their channels.
And there may be members in our communities that we serve that don't know. Don't we want, I mean, to me, why wouldn't we want to do that? I just don't think it's gonna be a burden to us. I think, I would want to try it for sure.
Do we need to vote to, encourage you or authorize you to explore further? Because I would be curious what staff feedback.
Yeah, I would think I would want to see that staff is informed about it, because it will place additional responsibilities on them. I think, potentially. And in any event, they should be informed of it before it's decreed that we're now a warming and cooling center, don't you think?
Insurance, input and legal.
Yeah.
So those would be the three areas of exploration.
I would say so.
But the staff wouldn't have to do anything different than what they normally do. It's just a possibility of extra people that we
It
wouldn't.
would be nothing they would do different.
But more people requires, having a certain number of people does require more attention, more effort. Just keeping track of people, for one thing, especially if a large group comes in. I think there is some burden on staff if it's more than just a handful of people.
I think that would be my question too. Would it just be the whole building is a warming and cooling center, or would it be a designated, if you are here for, would we want to concentrate?
No, it's any public, because we're a public space, any space that's public is not off limits, it's,
Absolutely.
I mean, it also, in terms of staffing, there may be people who come in who've never been in the library. On the one hand, that's positive. On the other hand, if people, I mean.
That happens every day.
I still
That's what
feel
we're
that
here
that should
for.
be explored with the staff.
I get the sense the staff is probably in favor.
I think they would be. I mean, we're a service group. We can certainly ask them, but
I think we should ask them. I think they would probably be inclined, yes, considering their orientation, the way they do things, but I think they should be, it should be discussed or informed with them before any decision's made. I really think so. So, with that being said, if we want to pursue this further, there a motion, I would say, a motion that Leslie contact the insurance broker and legal counsel about the draft MOU, make sure that we are not exposing ourselves to anything that we do, or if modifications are necessary for us to protect ourselves with the MOU. And also that staff being informed that this is under consideration.
And get some feedback from them.
Get their concerns.
And get their feedback. Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
Seconded? All in favor? Unanimous? Okay, great.
Okay.
Now, last, we have the technology plan update presentation.
Before you go into it, you did have a mission statement item on the agenda.
That we are deferring.
Okay.
We will defer that. Because that's currently being up for the staff to get their feedback and input, so.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Suki's not here. She had to leave early.
Yeah, she had to leave early, but she and I talked about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we know that. Right.
It's all yours. So can everyone on Zoom see the screen with the technology plan? Yeah, okay. Yes.
Good evening. The technology plan is a work in progress. And the subcommittee that has been working on it asked Carl for the opportunity to come in and share an update with the board. And just to remind you, this process started back in March when we proposed the development of a tech plan and wanted to see that as something that could build on existing foundations like mission, vision, values, strategic plan, reimagined spaces. And we imagine that it'll not be a static document, but it'll end up being something that will evolve with time and respond to new needs, but ultimately be available for the board for the commitments that the board would have to consider in implementing it. In terms of staff, everything comes with a bill, one sort or another. In its simplest form, you might have thought of a technology plan as being a review of specific technologies in the library, and that is a piece of it. We were able, thanks to efforts from Leslie and Elizabeth, we were able to get a grant to fund Blue Spruce Technologies to do a hardware and software review and needs assessment. But there are also digital safety issues, digital accessibility issues. Artificial intelligence is everywhere we look these days, and that will affect all of us. So all those are technology issues that are important. But we also felt pretty strongly as we started to shape this that we didn't want to do technology just for technology's sake. We wanted to understand how technology was likely to change the life of the library in important ways. And to that end, what were people's visions for the future and how can technology help enable those visions? So touching on some of those topics a little bit more, first of all, digital accessibility. You're all more or less familiar with Americans with Disabilities Act. You're used to the idea of various physical accommodations that a building has to make. Well, in the same way, in digital spaces mandated under Title II of the ADA, there are compliance standards for digital systems and for the engagement that either staff or patrons may engage as they engage with any of our systems. Compliance on this is due by April of 2027. This is probably new to a lot of you. It's fairly new to us on the Building and Tech Committee, but the staff have been on top of this for a while. Elizabeth has been, in particular, planning the work on this for quite some time. But as it goes forward, board engagement will probably be needed, and so we wanted to give you a first alert to it as one of the issues this evening. First of all, engagement will be needed just in terms of commitment, that board leadership role of saying, yes, we really do need to address these issues, and it'll probably come with a bill. There will probably be some amount of professional services needed to support it. Specifics are not really well known yet. It'll require an inventory of the various technology products that we use, which basically means all public-facing and staff-facing digital systems. And we'll have to think a bit about how we want to steer and oversee it. And down the road, there will be issues that we don't even begin to understand yet about training and compliance. Artificial intelligence is a lot harder. You can sort of ignore the eye chart on the right there. It's going to affect the library in lots of different ways. I've just begun accumulating questions that we might have about artificial intelligence. And my list of questions is so long that it fills up all that stuff on the right at the moment. But they fall in general categories. Mission, vision, values. How is it going to change our ability to fulfill our mission, both for good and for bad? The library's education mission, its role as a trusted source of information, how is that artificial intelligence going to impact all of that? It's going to affect patron usage at all ages, children, teens, adults, seniors. There's a whole set of dangers and concerns. And there will be a whole set of staff issues associated with the way staff might employ it, what new skills they may need, what new services it enable. And so there's a lot to be explored there. The piece of the tech plan that most of you have had a little bit of visibility into is that piece that's trying to think more broadly about what is technology going to enable for the future. To get that process underway, we started with a visioning process. And the visioning event that we held back in October started with a review of a short video that Leslie shared the link to on the meeting notice for this evening's meeting. I don't know if any of you had a chance to review that video. I hope some of you did. The group that met in October certainly found it inspiring in a lot of ways. We tried to do a broad outreach in that community event and followed it by a web-based survey. But we also went after a set of targeted audiences because that evening event, as great as it was, tends to self-select. We get our typical evening, older, edging toward retiree populations. And we didn't touch as well as we might have liked on all of the served communities, on young families, on teens, and on staff. And so we've done some work to try to do additional outreach in each of those. What came out of it was a messy process. We had the walls in this room were covered with these poster board notes from the various sessions. We distilled out of those visions. We asked 2 questions that evening. One question was about how services here in the library were going to change. Another question was about how services outside the library and how we would reach to the served communities and to our broader community. Out of each of those, all the comments we got, we ended up with about 9 themes that popped out for each of the 2 questions. Those in turn started grouping themselves a little further, and we grouped them a little bit more, and we just continued to massage all that. And a picture is starting to emerge. It's still not clear yet, but it's starting to come together. And this is a very busy plot that tries to talk about some of the pieces of that picture. First of all, there's a couple of enablers. The enablers are technology and people. And the whole idea here was that one of the messages that we heard repeatedly was that how can technology take some of the burdens off of staff and free their time up to do more patron interactive kinds of things, more customized services, customized support of individual patrons, things like that. So tech and the people end up being enablers for a bunch of things. Some of the kinds of themes that started to pop out are, first of all, patron services. There was a strong message that let's not lose what is important about libraries already. Preserve all the traditional elements and values, but also think about extending the reach, how to take the library out to the community, how to provide mobile services, these kinds of questions. And that led to a lot of discussions about expanded services in a variety of ways. And those come in a couple of ways. First of all, inside the building, what happens beyond traditional books? Think of all the things you already see happening here beyond traditional books. How can that grow over the next 10 years? How will services expand here in the library? But also how will services expand beyond the building, outside the library building itself and into the communities? So those kinds of themes started to emerge. At the same time, themes emerged about the kinds of activities people would like to be able to engage in in the library. All the way to the right, these ideas of the library as a community hub and the social community connections it provides, the social spaces. This should warm the hearts of everybody who's been involved in the capital campaign and the new visions that are emerging for the first floor. But there were also ideas about programming and learning opportunities, different kinds of educational opportunities, different kinds of meeting spaces. That, on the other hand, speaks a lot to the ideas that unfortunately were tabled in the capital campaign for the moment, but we'll want to return to as we think about spaces like this room and how meeting spaces in the library need to expand and evolve. And a lot of partnerships and community collaboration came out, a lot of themes along those lines. So these are the kinds of ideas that are starting to come out of the planning process. And just to wrap up by talking about that process a little bit, what I just described to you is we did some homework for a few months getting ourselves organized, and now we're working our way through this visioning process. And we purposely told all of the participants in the visioning, there are no constraints here. Put all your best ideas on the table. Don't hold back. So we're in the process. We're still trying to digest all of that. We need to summarize it. We need to prioritize what some of the principal visions are. Then we need to turn a corner and start turning those visions into a plan. First of all, what would it take to actually implement those visions? And once we understand what might be involved in implementing them, how do we turn that into a meaningful plan that all of you on the board can consider? What schedule might it be on? What kinds of investments might be involved? And so on. Along with all of that, as we're exploring, taking on these implementation issues, the planning issues, some of those earlier digital systems issues that I mentioned, accessibility, safety, artificial intelligence, those all need to move along in parallel. We're very pleased with what came out of the visioning session. We're also anxious that we stay closely connected with all of you on the board. And I'm not going to claim that we necessarily got it right here, but what we're proposing here is that we started with the proposal back in March. We're walking through this quick update for you this evening. We think probably around the beginning of June would be a good time for us to come back again with a first draft of how the technology plan is starting to take shape, and plan to come back with a final around November. Along with that, we think it's probably useful to get some other engagement. We think probably around the time of the corporator meeting in October would be a good time to share, at least in draft form, with the corporators, what's coming out of it. And finally, I didn't put a date on it here, but this idea of sharing with the community. We got a lot of really active participation in our visioning sessions. A lot of the participants asked to learn more and to hear what are we going to do with all their ideas. So we feel like we owe it to them to come back and share with them what's starting to develop in all of this. Exactly when and how we do that isn't completely clear. And the final thing that I wanted to raise this evening is that we think it's time to expand our subcommittee. Right now, we've got a subcommittee of about 4 of us, one staff member, myself and 2 others, Karen and Dean Emerson. And that was fine as long as what we were really trying to do was facilitate the activities of others and things like the visioning. But now we need to get serious about putting pen to paper and putting together an actual plan. And we'd like to have a little bit more participation in that. We would welcome all of you. I'm sure all of you are already overcommitted with committee assignments, but we would welcome having one or two more board members. We're working with Elizabeth and Leslie to identify a couple of staff members who will join in with us. And we'd like to get a little bit more community participation. That might start by reaching out to corporators, to the friends, things like that. It's our desire to send an invitation out to those groups and invite candidates to join us, but we also know that there's nothing like a personal invitation to encourage people to join in. So we don't claim to be that knowledgeable of all the people that are out there that can participate in this. So in addition to encouraging all of you that we'd like one or two more board members, if you have suggestions and recommendations for others in the community that might be good candidates, please let us know. And I think that covers what I wanted to say, other than attempting to take on any questions you may have.
I think that trying yet again to get to engage the corporators is a good idea, because they usually say they like to know how they can help. We don't reach out to them to say what the opportunities are. So if admittedly, when we've done this in the past with other projects, there hasn't been a resounding response. But I would agree that reaching with close to 100 people, right, with corporators, some people certainly with some expertise, some relevant experience, and
that's good. I appreciate that. We talked about that in our subcommittee yesterday. We're in the process of drafting a note to send out probably to all of you, just as a reminder, but also notes to the friends and to the corporators. But if you can add to that by either giving us names or by doing outreach as you're in touch with other people, we would certainly welcome it. We're aiming at something like the 1st of March, thereabouts, to put an expanded group together.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got.
Go
ahead, Chris.
Yeah, you touched on this in your presentation, and I had to step away for just a second, but there was a Title II some legal requirement for technology and accessibility. And I'm just curious about to what extent let me back up. To what extent have those requirements fed into the design of the reimagined spaces to this point? I mean, I'd hate for us to spend a bunch of money and do some things that was only 95% compliant or 90% required, and then required some tweaks or some band-aids to be put on things. So has there been some feedback there, I guess is my question.
I think there are a couple of answers to that. First of all, the specific thing that I was raising was an element of the Americans with Disabilities Act that applies specifically to digital access. So that'll be addressing all of the both staff-facing and public-facing digital systems. Anything that a staff member or a patron might encounter has to meet certain digital standards by, I believe I said April of 2027.
Right, 27. Yeah, I'm just curious because part of what we're doing is shrinking, and I think demand is going down. But shrinking the amount of public computers and all in the reimagined spaces. So I'm just curious I'd be curious to know what the requirements are, I guess, or whether that's part of it, or if it's just strictly requirements about the web page, not the number of physical computers, for example.
I believe it's the former and not the latter, but I
Okay.
don't understand it very well yet myself.
And we're not necessarily shrinking, we might just offer more laptops for people to sit where they want. We don't, you know what I mean, where we want versatile space. So we're maybe having less of a permanent space for somebody to sit with the computer. It doesn't mean we're offering less number of computers.
And we're also putting in the 1 or 2 person enclosed Zoom room or teleconference room.
Right.
That will be handicapped accessible because it won't have a lip. It will be.
And any
Which we don't
type
have
of
right now.
any type of building renovation will always follow ADA. I mean,
Yeah.
our architects, that's their job.
that's
I
just
mean, it
what I
will
was-
always have, you know.
That's exactly the point I was about to make, Leslie, thank you, that in the initial visioning stages, you might not necessarily see a lot of visibility in those kinds of things. But once you get seriously into the design, the architects and the designers will be very knowledgeable on that.
Yes, once we get to construction drawings, that will all be very clear.
There are a lot of, in the visions, there are a lot of items.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, are you prioritized or how are you approaching it, I guess, if there's so much there? So I'm just kind of interested in a little of your process, I guess. And
Well, it's a hybrid. It's a mix of a couple of things. I mean, first of all, we tried to do the quantitative things that we could. We tried to look at a lot of ideas. You can say how many people raised this particular topic, that kind of thing. So we're certainly pulling together those kinds of statistics, but we're also trying to be, I'll say, a little more qualitative about it, recognizing that some things people didn't say a lot about just because they sort of assumed that it would be there, and they kind of implied some capabilities in the grander visions that they put on the table. So we're trying to sort our way through how do we interpret all these comments. The priorities actually isn't worrying me too much. The bigger issue, the harder issue to me is you saw that I gave you a quick look at the process we're going through of trying to distill all this stuff down. It really worries me a lot that in the process of distilling it, we get some general statements about themes and categories, but we kind of lose the flavor. We lose the details of very specific ideas that people had on the table. And so that's something that I'm very conscious of, that we can't lose sight of specific individual ideas that people have in our attempts to summarize all of it. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be very interesting.
it's a big undertaking.
It's, I think, bigger than any of us realized.
Just seeing all that,
Started doing
yeah,
it.
that's why I was asking, because that's a lot.
It reaches out and touches everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
Great
thanks.
job.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Any other, are there comments or any other issues, new items for the company? Otherwise, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Just one note, next month's meeting will be on the 10th as well. 4:30. Okay.
And it will actually be, that's the one we're gonna have meet in the community, in the boardrooms, excuse me, for that meeting so that the tax aid can have the room through the afternoon for, so yes, so next month, I'll send a reminder as it gets
What was
closer.
the date?
10th.
10th?
All right. Motion to adjourn, all approved, all in favor? Thank you, it's 6:15.
Karen might know.
Having